I thought, yeah, now you've said that, that seems really obvious. Ruby, can I help you? You are in my space. First Ray and now you, Ruby. Don't look all cute, I've got a video to film. Hello guys, welcome back to Car Obsession and welcome to Vlogdown episode 2. In this video I'm going to talk about how to start a car YouTube channel and also talk about how Car Obsession started. So I'll look to splice those two topics together. Now I've kind of prepared 5 tips for you if you're looking to start up your own car YouTube channel, and some of those tips could be transferred to any other genre of YouTube channel, so hopefully this is of some help. Now, some of the tips will seem glaringly obvious, but they are important. I will speak about why I've kind of included them. The first tip is make sure you are setting your channel up for the right reason. That may seem a little bit ominous and a bit cryptic, but the reason why I say that is because as YouTube becomes more and more popular and you're getting more YouTubers become famous and, you know, earning a fair bit of money from what they do, I think it's easy to start a channel with the intention of, oh, I'm gonna become famous overnight, or I'm gonna make loads of money. Loads of money! Let me tell you this, you won't. Well, that sounds really pessimistic. You won't to begin with. I think that's the best way of putting it. Now, of course, you can make success from YouTube. I'm not going to sit here wee on your parade, because that would be unfair. But at the same time, I need to be realistic with you. A lot of YouTubers, you may see their success now, but if you look, if you look through their history, they've probably been grinding at it for years, and they've put a lot of hard work in, and a lot of, there's probably been long nights and that kind of thing. So be prepared to work hard, or at least work smart. Be prepared to put a lot of effort in, because it will require a lot of effort. It's like what I say, you get out what you put in. If you put in minimal effort, there's a good chance you're going to get minimal output. Of course, some people strike it lucky and things kind of fall into their lap, so to speak, but for the majority of us creators, it will be quite a long road ahead. Now, I set up Car Obsession because I've had a passion for cars for a long time, and I wanted to share that passion with like-minded people. I also wanted to provide impartial, honest and helpful car reviews as well, because I thought if I can help people make informed decisions in regard to whatever car they're buying, and for them to be happy with that car, that's great. And I have had a few people comment, and even a few people approach me when I've been at a car event and said, oh Aaron, I watched your video on this car and because of your video I bought it and I really like it. And that genuinely gives me a lot of satisfaction, because not only am I providing car reviews for like-minded people, but I'm also helping people choose the right car for them. So that's fantastic. So yeah, that's tip 1. Make sure you're setting your channel up for the right reason. I did it because I had a passion I wanted to share. So make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Try not to be motivated by money or fame, because there's a good chance you're going to become disheartened quite quickly. Second tip, knowing how to get access to cars. And that may seem quite obvious, but when I first started YouTube, my assumption, like many I suppose, would be that I needed to contact my local car dealerships in order to get access to cars. Now, don't get me wrong, I do know of some YouTubers that have done that and have found success from it. Car focused, he's had a few Fords from his local Ford dealership, and I know Petrolped, he's also had a few cars from various dealerships. So it is possible. I don't want to tell you it isn't. However, in my experience, all of the car dealerships I contacted, I think it was around 20 in my kind of local area. I think I worked in a 5-mile radius. None of them could or would help me. Now, from a dealership point of view, you need to view it like this. You've got someone walking in to take one of your stock out for a drive. If they happen to damage that car, obviously that's a potential problem. And if they do take a car out, you may want to send out one of your sales representatives or another member of staff to kind of supervise. If you do that, you're losing a member of staff for half an hour, no matter how long it may be. And you've also got the sticky area of insurance as well. So obviously, if someone like myself, I've got fully comp insurance, you know, if I had third parties to drive other cars, that's great. But if I took out a car from a dealership and I knocked it into a lamppost, obviously there's no insurance cover for that. So you've got a potential problem there. And also you've got the area of how much value you can give to the dealership. Now, what I mean by this is, of course, you can give them a shout out in the video and that kind of thing. But let's say, for argument's sake, all of my audience were based in the south of England, which is where I live, and I go to a dealership near me. Sorry, let me start again. Let's say my audience is based in the north of England, and I go to my local dealership in the south of England. All of the people watching the video, they're not going to rush down to the south to go to that dealership, are they? Now, how do you get access to cars if you can't or don't have any luck from a dealership? Now, what you need to do is contact the brand you want to work with, find out the details for their press office, which you can normally do online. If you go to their media and newsroom, you can normally find the contacts that way. Contact their press officer or their press fleet officer, whatever their job title may be. Explain who you are, what you want to do, and why you want one of their cars. And this is where it becomes tricky, because it is a catch-22. Because for car manufacturers, they want a return of investment. On average, obviously this can vary. For a car brand to send one of their models out to you, it will cost around £1,000. Now you may think, whoa, how is it that much? So they have to pay for one of their colleagues to deliver the car to you and also to collect it from you. It comes, well, the majority of the time, it comes with a full tank of petrol and it comes with insurance. So it doesn't matter what insurance you have, the car manufacturer will supply their own insurance. So that's why it is a costly business. Now, if you imagine how many people there are like me, as well as proper motoring journalists who work for magazines, and think about how many cars must go in and out of a brand's fleet of cars. That's quite a lot of money going backwards and forwards. So for a car brand, they will want to see some return of investment. If Vauxhall, for example, loan an Astra out to someone and the video only gets 100 views, then Vauxhall aren't going to get much from it because the video hasn't got the exposure that they would have wanted or needed. So that's why it becomes a catch-22, because when you're first starting a channel, there's a good chance you're not going to have many subscribers or many views. Now, of course, if you're looking to base your channel on a project car, obviously what I'm saying now is of no relevance to you. So if you've bought a project car and you want to document the journey from start to finish, obviously this doesn't really apply to you. But if you do want to test and review cars like I do, then obviously this is something that's quite important. So you then become trapped in a situation where you want to review cars, but you can't because no one will give you a car, because you need views to get cars, but you need cars to get views. This is where you need to think outside the box and kind of reach within your social circle. So do you have any friends or family that would be happy to loan you one of their cars for, a video? Or perhaps you could film with your own car, providing it's something that is going to likely to cause some interest. Sorry, tea break. Lovely. So that's a good place to start. I know YouTubers such as Bleed Carswell, he started out that way and he's now getting cars from manufacturers, which is fantastic. Well done, Bleed, if you're watching. Obviously, if you are going to go down that route, make sure you have the relevant insurance. Don't be caught out by driving someone else's car when you shouldn't be, because that that potentially isn't going to end up very favourable for you, or indeed the person that has very kindly let you borrow their car. So knowing how to get access to cars is a really important one, and be prepared. It will be difficult. If you are approaching car brands directly, you will be met with a lot of no's. And even now, even though I've gone over 10,000 subscribers, there are still some car brands that aren't in a position where they can give me a car yet. How long have I been speaking for? 11 minutes. Okay, cool, not too bad. So be prepared to get a lot of no's, and it will be disheartening. And I do know of car YouTubers that have started, then quit because they found it too difficult to get hold of cars. It really is tricky, and I'm not going to lie to you. It is tricky. But if you persevere, I like to think of the 3 Ps, you know, be patient, be persistent, but obviously not too persistent, and be positive. If you kind of live by those 3 Ps, you know, I think that's a kind of a good mantra to have. Yeah, you just need to keep knocking on that door, and eventually you will be let in, but it will take a long time. I chipped away at Ford for about 2 years, and now I've got a really good relationship with them, which is fantastic. But yeah, that took a lot of time. I mentioned it in my last video, you know, MG, Suzuki and Fiat. They were the 3 brands that really helped me kind of begin to establish myself. But yeah, it is difficult. Is it impossible? No, but just be prepared that you will be met by a lot of rejections, and that isn't necessarily personal to you. It's very easy. Well, it's easy for me. You know, I do take a lot of things personally, I won't lie, but to begin with, it was very demotivating. Tip 3, I would say post consistently. Now, there is a caveat with that. Now, when I first started Car Obsession, I was doing about maybe a video a month, and the growth was super slow. So at the start of 2017, I said to myself, look, I need to be making at least 1 video a week in order to kind of get a good amount of growth. And that definitely helped. So yeah, I'd say aim for at least a video a week, or post consistently in a way that your fans or your viewers know when to expect your videos. Because if you do, you know, I do know of some YouTubers that I'm friends with, and they film quite infrequently, and that's hurting them. But at the same time, it's difficult when you're doing it around a full-time job or other commitments. Now, I do my channel around a full-time job, and it's really tricky. It's really tricky because I pretty much dedicate the majority of my spare time to what I do here, and it is tiring, but I do it because I enjoy doing it. Don't get me wrong, at some points it does feel a bit taxing, but yeah, I do like what I do, but yeah, it does take up a lot of my time, so be prepared for that. Now, if you're going to post consistently, the caveat I mentioned earlier, I think I mentioned it, is make sure it is worthwhile. Make sure your video adds value. Don't post a video just for the sake of posting a video. Don't think, oh God, I've got nothing, I haven't got anything to post this week. Oh, let me quickly grab a camera, I'll do this. It needs to be a video that your audience wants to watch or needs to watch. So yes, post consistently, but make sure you're doing it with quality and a purpose. Have an idea in mind what the video is going to look like, and you know, do as much planning and research beforehand, and just make sure that the video adds value to your viewers and your channel, because if it doesn't, then you're wasting your time, and you're also wasting the time of your audience as well. So that's tip 3. Tip 4, I would say networking. Networking's a really good one. Especially when you're a smaller YouTuber, collaborate with as many people as possible. But what I would say is try not to aim for the big dogs, because when you collaborate, it needs to be a kind of mutual agreement. You need to be able to offer something to them, and they can offer something to you. If you're going to set out to collaborate with a big YouTuber, I don't mean to sound rude, there's probably not much you can offer them that's going to be of benefit. So that's why it's a good idea to collaborate with someone with a similar size, and maybe someone that's been going a little bit longer than you or has a slightly bigger fan base. But don't, you know, for me to go out and want to collaborate with Shmee150, for example, what could I offer Shmee? Not much, to be honest. Let's face it. So yeah, collaborate with people that are, you know, a similar kind of size to you. I think it's a good way of doing it, and also have a similar kind of interest as well. Because if you're really into powerful estates, for example, and you collaborate with someone who films caterings, you know, those two car genres don't really, you know, they don't really go hand in hand, do they? So try and make sure it's someone who has a similar kind of 16 minutes, okay, almost 17 minutes. Make sure it's someone that has a similar kind of interest to you, because that way their audience can, you know, kind of mix in with your audience, and likewise. And tip 5, learn from your numbers, but do not become obsessed by them, because That is a trap I've fallen into a few times, and you end up in a rut where all you think about is the numbers. You think, okay, that's not high enough, that's not where it should be. And all of a sudden you lose the love, the passion for what you do. So the numbers are great, and analytics is a really powerful tool if you can use it correctly. So learn what's going well, learn what isn't doing so well, and kind of focus, try and build on what's working for the channel and lose what isn't. But at the same time, try not to focus too much on the numbers, because you'll end up going stir crazy, and like I say, you'll lose the love of what you're doing. So it's important that you look at the numbers, learn from them, gain value from them, but try not to let them rule over what you're doing. So, and I think another important part on that, and again, something I struggle with even now, is do not compare yourself to other YouTubers, because if you do that, there's a good chance you're going to be disappointed. I know of some YouTubers that started after I did. They had a smaller number of subscribers naturally, and they've overtaken me massively, to the point where I look at their subscribers and think, wow. But what positivity can be taken out of that? None. What can I take from that is productive or useful? Nothing. So yes, it is helpful to be inspired by other YouTubers. Yes, of course. But try not to compare your numbers with their numbers, because again, you're going to get disheartened. So it's really important to focus on what you're doing. Just focus on you, focus on your content, and just enjoy what you do. Because if it's no enjoyment, then what's the point? There have been times when I've done my channel and I've got myself into a really dark place, into a proper deep rut. And I thought, why am I doing this? I don't enjoy what I'm doing. So you have to remind yourself why you started the channel in the first place. So 21 minutes, okay, I'm going to start wrapping up soon. So I will speak briefly about how Car Obsession started, and I will sign off. If there's any questions, if there's anything that you'd like to know, or something I haven't covered in this video, because I could speak about these topics for much longer, but I'm trying to keep this video as short as I can, please feel free to drop a question or comment in the comment section below, and I will answer you as quickly as I can. Let's face it, in lockdown, I haven't got much else to do, so I should be able to respond to you quite quickly, unless I'm asleep, of course. So, quite a few years ago, I had a brand new Renault Clio Dynamique TomTom, which at the time was a mid-range model. I wrote a review on it and sent it to a load of car magazines. I got no responses back, not even an acknowledgement. So I got disheartened. About 2 years later, I did the same thing, and I think I got a response from one magazine. I can't remember which it was, but it was kind of thanks, but no thanks. It was around October 2015 that I went to a wedding. It was one of my cousins that was getting married. And I just happened to bump into a chap called Tim, who works at Motoring Research. They do car reviews and that kind of thing, and tests, and they also do quite a lot of retro content as well, which is quite cool. So I spoke to him about my struggles, and he said to me, well, why not just start your own website? I thought, yeah, Nave said that seems really obvious. So February the next year, 2016, I set up the website, and then it wasn't until May 2016 that I started the YouTube channel. And at the time, the idea was the YouTube channel would supplement the website, whereas now it's the other way around. My YouTube channel gets so much more traffic compared to my website that, if anything, the website supplements the YouTube channel. So that's basically how Car Obsession started. And as I said earlier, from the outset, I just wanted to share my passion with other people and also to film car reviews. So that's how Car Obsession really started, and the rest, as they say, is history. But yeah, I'm going to wrap up now, because time's getting on, and I wanted to keep this video as short as I possibly could, which is, trust me, tricky. In regard to what the next topic will be for the Vlogdown series, I don't know. I've got quite a few topics I want to speak about. If there's a topic you'd like me to speak about, get in touch, but I've got a few in mind, but I need to sit down and think about which one I'm going to do. But anyway, time for me to shut up and to sign off. Thank you so much for watching this video. I do really hope you found it useful. I know that I've spoken about some topics in not a lot of detail, but and that is a necessity for video length. Give it a thumbs up if you have enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and also click my bell so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time, guys, keep up the car obsession.